Welcome to the BTA Podcast. BTA, the voice of business travel.
Hi, it's the BTA in Conversation latest podcast with me, Clive Ratton.
And it's me, Andrew Clark.
So this is the podcast where Andrew and I natter about all that is going on in the world of business travel, what the BTA and our team have been up to, and let's be honest, it's been a pretty busy period since the last one we recorded. I know I've been overseas and away at conferences, and you've been around and about. So I think we start off with something that I've been really looking forward to seeing happen. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but the BTA Generation Board event in Eccles. Let's tell the listeners a little bit about what our board have been doing there.
Generation Board have been busy, Clive. And as you said, I think the team, the five of us within the team have been super busy over the last few weeks, travelling around the country, making sure that we're getting the BTA messages out there. But the Gen Board have had a couple of events since we last spoke.
That's first true, one, actually, I forgot.
Yeah, they were up with our partners Premier Inn, helping out in one of their key initiatives, which I think you were really excited to see happen, right?
Yeah, Thrive, which is, for those that haven't seen the post, amazing kind of initiative from Premier Inn, who have a mock-up of a Premier Inn rooms and reception, I believe, and take adults who have learning difficulties and get jobs that easily and training them up and end up employing them. And I think the Generation BTA Board, really enjoyed that day. I was gutted I missed it, actually. I was really looking forward to seeing it, but I couldn't do it. But I know Helen and Sam went, I believe.
Helen and Sam went, quite a humbling experience, I think, was the words that they used. So really good event there. And then as you started to talk about the key event that the Generation Board put on, which was to present to over 200 students up here in Manchester, over in Eccles at the college, and thanks to Beth Flanagan, one of the principal tutors over there, who let us in, allowed us to share the message around our sector, what it delivers, what opportunities there are, and we were supported very generously by both our members and partners on the day.
Yeah, it was staggered. Over 200 students turned up, which is brilliant and shows that we got it right. But just seeing some of the names of members and partners that are up there and they all presented, and I couldn't remember them all, but I know British Airways obviously sponsored the Generation BTA Board, were up there with some cabin crew, and Virgin were there. But there was a number of our members that were presenting on various sectors within the travel management place as well, I believe. You're probably a better place to name those.
There were. We had travel counsellors up there. We had BCD up there. We had a few of our other TMC members and our partners, from Eurostar to Travelodge and people like that. So I think just getting exposure to that generation of people and looking to move into the workplace, I think it's done us as an industry fantastically well, put the BTA on the map. I think we had other colleges attend as well. Eccles were very kind in inviting other colleges from in and around the Manchester area. So hopefully, we're able to, showcase what a great industry we're in. And we're thinking about putting something together to allow these students to attend some of our UK domestic events, because it'll educate them, it'll engage them with our industry,
give them experience,
and I think that's probably the right thing to do. So watch this space. Well, not specifically watch this space, because we're being recorded and we're on the phone.
It'll be dull to watch it.
It'll be dull to watch it. Yes, exactly. But keep an eye out for more info on that one.
Yeah, I agree. And again, just part of the value of the BTA is giving our Generation BTA Board the experience of, one, organising events, but two, really publicising our industry. And this is such a key part for our members and our exec board, highlighting the kind of flow of new talent into the industry is hard. And to do this and hearing it from those that are relatively new to the sector is such an important part of the BTA. And hats off to Gen BTA, and obviously to our own Helen, who I know was integral in organising it all.
Yeah, Helen and Sam have done a great job cajoling the partners and the members, making sure we've got the right presence there. So hats off to them both. And then talking about events, you had your own event you attended, one of our association partners that we work closely with.
Yeah, ITM conference down in Brighton. Yeah, a massive event in fairness to ITM, over 600 people there. So it was enjoyable 2 days on sunny Brighton. It was beautiful down there. I did the morning run along the promenade, which is very nice too, with a number of
In your condition
delegates.
as well. I'm impressed.
I know. I did get told off by my wife actually for running. I wasn't supposed to be
Okay.
running, but I was tempted and I did it. And now I'm probably paying for it. But anyway, that's a side story. It was great as always to network with so many people and to hear what is the issues for the buyers, which of course really important for us. So a big thanks to Scott and the team for inviting me, and congrats for pulling off another fantastic event. And I'm glad we only have to think about 200 delegates, if I'm honest, not 600. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and I always enjoy going to our associate friends events because it's nice to see people that you don't always see, and it's always nice to see what angle they take on certain conversations and what topics they debate. We always talk about this kind of event fatigue where you get the same
Yeah.
topics, the same people on stage, and I think it's nice to see different faces and different topics when you do go.
Yeah, I agree. And as I always say, it's lovely going to somebody else's conference because you can relax, right? You can enjoy the
Absolutely.
content and the hospitality and not have to worry the whole
Worry
time.
about
But
anything.
yeah, I did
And
catch up with Scott for a while, and yeah, I think it's in that that phase where you go through all the stress, and then once it's up and running, you're on the way down, and it's
yeah,
almost just fatiguing, but you want it over. So yeah, no, they did a good job, and I'm sure
and
there was a few hangovers. Not
yeah,
me.
and
I have to say, I was grown up. But.
it's their 70th year this year, is it? I think that's what they were kind of celebrating.
It is, and some interesting look back on all of that. And I think if I heard it correctly, I think there was something like the most somebody had done was 34 ITM
Wow.
conferences. So that's a long career of attending them. But yeah, there's a lot of longevity in the room. I've attended a lot of ITM conferences, and it's always quite funny to look back at some of the photos from past era and realise what we did in the industry and how it's come forward. But yeah,
Totally,
no,
totally.
good
And
couple of
and
days.
talking about being stressed at events, you were over our venue for September for our Alicante conference earlier on in the week.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was great. Actually, I was over there with Steph from our team, who has the dubious honour of doing all the hard work around it, and Matt from Active, who does all of our AV events, just to do a further kind of recce, working into the more finer details. And so not only was the sun shining, I did realise genuinely what a fantastic venue it is going to be, because it just has everything there, and the facilities are fantastic. And I'm very excited about it. We took our headline sponsors out there, Virgin and Delta. We're planning lots of great stuff for them, particularly for the second night dinner, which I think people are going to be really blown away
Great.
by. The first welcome dinner on the Sunday night, I think, is going to be an absolute laugh as well. I think that's going to be a great evening that BA and American are sponsoring, but also the room, doing the kind of the set build, what we're going to do. Yeah, I'm generally really excited, and a big thanks to the team at Melia, the Villa Etana, and obviously to Gianni and Sue here in the UK for helping us. It is beautiful, and they're so helpful. And I was saying to you earlier on, or maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was my wife this morning, I can't remember who I was talking to, but we were lucky enough to do a bit of a food tasting for the dinner, and it is some of the best food I've tasted that ready
Great.
for a conference. So if they can do that, not only you're in for a fantastic evening, you're in for some great scoff too. Very
Yeah.
Mediterranean and fresh. It was lovely. So not long, and you can still registration is open. We're still working on a few surprises and what have you that we can throw in if you haven't registered yet, to tempt you, but I wouldn't miss it. And if you want an additional place, it is a fantastic value for money. And I know I would say that, but we have done a really good deal on it, including flights, hotel, and everything at the event for very good prices, which you'll find on our website for members and partners only, of course, is the only other thing. But we'd love to see more and more of you there, because the content is really relevant, really talking some difficult discussions. And we have a couple of great keynote speakers, all of which will be revealed over the next few weeks. But don't wait to see them. It's worth booking now. Is that enough of a plug? Have I done okay there?
I think you've done all right. I think people get the message that they need to be in Alicante in September. And you mentioned there, we're off to the Melia. They're one of our partners, one of our hotel partners, and we had our accommodation conference just recently over in London. We did it in conjunction with Beam, who are the Business Events and Meetings Association, and I must say it was one of the best conferences we've done for a long time. The feedback has been really, really strong. I think we picked the right topics. I think we mentioned earlier on in our conversation here, I think if we get the content right,
Yeah.
people really enjoy the day. And
And I think that's the important thing, sorry to
all right.
highlight, is that these are talking about real industry issues and not holding back, and actually having some difficult conversations, I think, particularly at the accommodation one between, members and suppliers in a positive sense. What you get at our conferences is the topics that are really happening in the industry, right? That's what the
Yeah.
accommodation one, the feedback I've seen anyway.
Yeah, exactly that. And there was a few key topics, I think. Hotel safety and traveller safety when travelling in and around hotels was a key topic, and still is a key topic for a lot of
Yeah.
our TMCs and for our travellers. So I think it was really important that we addressed that subject. We didn't leave it as the pink elephant that was sat in the room, and really interesting conversation
Pink
around.
elephant?
Yeah, the pink elephant that sits in the corner of the room and you don't really talk about it. It was kind of that, right? Not heard that one before?
I just thought it was an elephant. Maybe that's a northern thing, right? It can be pink. That's fine.
Yeah, pink
Sorry
elephant.
to
We go
interrupt.
pink elephant in the room. And then the other, so hotel safety versus hotel security, right? The difference in between. We had a lot of good debate and discussion around putting these wedges behind your door when you get in. And our safety and security VP that was on one of the panels said, well, why would you do that? If there's a fire, who's getting into your room to help you? Like, these things are not there. So think about safety and security as two different things. And it was a really eye-opening debate. Wow. So I think a lot of people went away with the real thoughts of how they think about that when they're on the travels in the future. So again, content is key for us.
Thought-provoking stuff, which is what it's about, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly that. And then that leads us on. We've got our finance conference in less than 10 days now. I think on Monday, the 11th of May. So after the bank holiday, we get straight into the final preparations of that. So again, in conjunction with Beam, we've already got around 60 people signed up. So we're still looking for more, for those that want to come and talk all things finance, which I didn't think I would want to, but actually there's some meaty stuff in there. Yeah. Lots of changes happening, regulative changes to the way you e-invoice, TOMS and bill back, and virtual payments, all landscapes changing serious very stuff, quickly. Right? Yeah, exactly.
There's lots of regulation change. So come along and learn. It's important. Again, stressing it's not just for finance people. If you're an account manager looking after a client with a lot of hotel bill backs, you need to be there and understand what's going on. Yeah, and then we've got the aviation conference also, 1st of June. Is it? 1st of June.
1st of June.
Yeah, which is not that far away. It's under a month away now, and great topics there. We've got talking around ADMs and the increase of them. Are they working? Third parties handling ADMs. Disruption, clearly very valid at the moment. How we work better together. Hopefully having IATA and an update on one order and another other really key topics, and AI is on the agenda there, how we do customer servicing on AI. So really relevant stuff for that too. And like the finance conference, you can register if you're a member via our website. And we'd love to see you there in central London on the 1st of June for that one too.
Great. So lots going on. It's keeping the five of us busy for sure.
It absolutely is. There's a lot of other stuff going on in the background as we, with the new board, kind of really keeping us moving forward, which is good. And it's going to be a busy summer leading up to everything, which is exciting.
Yeah, and then we've had two little wins, haven't we? I think since we last spoke. One around rail, which I'm sure you want to share with everyone. So what's happened with the rail consultation we've been involved in?
Exactly that. Everybody will know, I would imagine, listening to this, the change in the national rail conditions of travel, which removed the flexibility, if you like, the refund flexibility of the anytime tickets away, which was a huge issue for our members. And whilst we didn't have it revoked completely, our campaigning has given an extension to the BTA members, TMCs, until September to allow us to change systems and inform clients. So it's a major win that the BTA has had on behalf of its members, which means a lot, and a lot of great feedback from our members going, this is exactly what the BTA is about, is picking these up and making a change. And, a big thank you to Paul and the team at RDG. We had some, very friendly but tense conversations, if you know what I mean, around the impact of the lack of consultation and everything. And they listened, and that's what it's about. We've reached a compromise that works for both parties. So again, really demonstrating the work of the BTA and the value to its members, and ultimately to the train operating companies as well, who will potentially see a weakening in yield, I fear, as a result of people changing the tickets that they purchase. But that's for another day. But exactly. A good win, and a big thank to all of the members who, were passionately engaged with that to help us provide the evidence that we needed to do, which was evidence that clearly worked.
Yeah, and then we're still banging the drum on the hotel levy.
Yeah, you're doing a good job of that. You've got quite a lot coming up on that, haven't you?
We've
I
got
think
quite
there's
a
some
lot
real
coming up.
movement.
Yeah. Well, we've got the local elections happening next week, so everybody get
Is
out and
it?
vote. Yeah,
I hadn't realised.
everybody get out and vote. That was our saying. Well, my daughter's standing for local council, so yeah, it's been an
Well, I better not
interesting.
ask what party
No,
she's
no, no.
standing for. That would not be
It's
good.
been an interesting time. So for those that do know me, me and my daughter have very, very strong opinions on things, and not
Different
always the
politics.
same. Different
Yeah,
politics,
yeah,
exactly. So she's
yeah.
standing for local council. So good luck to her. But yeah, votes next week. Then we got the King's Speech the following week, and
Mm.
then we've been invited to be part of an APPG to talk about the visitor levy with the MPs down in Westminster that will be attending. So once that's happened, we'll keep everyone updated and let everybody know where that is headed. Exciting times,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of good work being done on behalf of the members. So there we are. This edition is absolutely packed full with important information and
We need a
fascinating
4-day
facts.
weekend, Clive.
We do need a
Off.
40, but we've
We
only
need
got a 3-day one,
Yeah, but
unfortunately,
we need a
coming up.
4-day one.
Yeah. I do absolutely advocate for 4-day weekends. But yeah, bank holiday season is upon us, May, where we have two. It's going to be interesting to see. What we haven't touched on, obviously, is the ongoing hostilities around the Middle East and in Ukraine and Russia still, not to forget that, and what impact it's having on the industry. So we may touch on that next time, but we'll have a look. We know it continues to be a difficult time, but yeah, we'll maybe cover that a little bit more at our next episode.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We are. So I guess from us at the BTA, we will keep fighting the calls for you, keep bringing you together and to have conversations and to make a better industry. And you guys sit back, relax, enjoy your bank holiday #1 when it gets here. And we will talk with you very soon on the next BTA in conversation. So it's a very happy bank holiday goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.